Hello, my dear. You can feel it, can't you? That little tremor crawling beneath their skin. The air thickens whenever you walk in, not because you demanded attention or announced your return, but because presence like yours doesn't ask for space, it rearranges it. People straighten up without knowing why. Conversations glitch for a heartbeat. The atmosphere shifts as if truth itself just stepped into the room. They don't fear your voice. They fear what your silence has memorized. You hold a kind of calm that wasn't gifted. It was built, brick by brick, through every moment you had to swallow hurt instead of expressing it. Through every time you stayed quiet while chaos tried to drag you into a performance. Through every time you chose restraint over reaction. And now, without effort, your self-control carries authority. You became the person who doesn't panic in storms because you learned to recognize rain before clouds even appear. They don't know how to talk to someone who sees through everything. Your eyes have become a mirror, a clear reflection that exposes what others try to hide beneath polished smiles and practiced confidence. They sense it, that you hear more than what is spoken, that you measure people by intention, not performance, that you can detect the small hesitation when honesty tries and fails to form a sentence. You don't call out their lies, you let the truth in your presence do it for you. It's not intimidation, it's accuracy. You've learned what very few ever do. Reaction is currency, and you've become wealthy by saving yours. They can't manipulate you anymore because manipulation requires a response, and yours is selective now. You choose where your energy goes. You choose who gets access. Your attention has become a privilege. And privileges are earned, aunts. They mistook your kindness for weakness, made the error of believing your silence meant submission. But silence is where strategy sleeps, and yours woke up sharper than ever. You no longer chase belonging. The room adjusts around you. You don't raise your voice. You raise your standards. You no longer explain who you are. You embody it. When you walk in, self-serving people feel something closing in on them. It's not danger, it's consequence. The awareness that their old tactics fall apart under your gaze. Because you're no longer someone they can influence with flattery, confuse with contradictions, or destabilize with doubt. You see through the game because you survived the level they designed to break you. They wonder how you managed to stay composed while everything tried to shatter you. They ask how you kept standing when collapse was the easier option. They don't understand that pain taught you patience, and patience taught you power. Your evolution wasn't loud. It was surgical. You didn't cut people out with anger. You cut habits that helped them stay. You didn't close doors with bitterness. You closed them with boundaries. You didn't lose relationships. You lost versions of yourself that tolerated less than respect. Now, those who once doubted you watch closely. They adjust their tone. They check their words twice. They act careful in your presence, not because you would punish them, but because their own conscience already is. You didn't become untouchable by building walls. You became untouchable by building self-awareness. Your peace is no longer fragile. It's fortified, not guarded by force, but by truth. And truth is the kind of shield no one sees until it stops everything meant to harm you. Listen closely, that silence around you. That's not loneliness. That's recognition. The world now understands that calm isn't your default, it's your discipline. That your stillness is not emptiness, it's evaluation. And the moment you decide to move, you do so with direction. People feel different around you because you are different. You carry history in your eyes and standards in your step. You don't intimidate good people, you inspire them. You only intimidate those who built their confidence on illusions. They're not afraid of you, they're afraid of what you see. So let the room shift, let the energy adjust, let the truth weigh heavier when you arrive. Because the message has already been delivered without a word, you are no longer playing the character they wrote for you. You are the author now, and everyone else is learning their lines. You know what the most unsettling thing is for them. It's not your strength, it's that you don't need to show it. You're not performing power, you're carrying it quietly, confidently. Without validation, applause, or permission, you make them confront themselves. Because when someone who once accepted mistreatment suddenly chooses dignity, it shifts the entire axis of the connection. It forces accountability. It forces reflection. And reflection is uncomfortable for anyone who has built their identity around avoiding truth. That's the tremor they feel. That's the tension in the air. You didn't ask for the spotlight, but growth has a way of breaking ceilings that were never meant to contain you. You've learned that the real flex isn't being loud, it's being unbothered. You used to feel obligated to respond to misunderstandings, to defend yourself against false assumptions, to explain your heart like an open book to people who never learned how to read intentions correctly. Not anymore. You realized something profound. The people who misunderstand you on purpose aren't confused. They're invested in the version of you that benefits them. Silence was the chapter they never expected. And oh, how the silence exposes motives. Watch how they start explaining themselves without being asked. Watch how they apologize without you pointing anything out. Watch how they rewrite history to make themselves look kinder in the story they once weaponized against you. They're not fixing the past, they're reacting to your evolution. Your peace is loud now, not the screaming kind. The undeniable kind. You stop telling people who you are. You let them reveal who they are. That's emotional intelligence. That's self-respect. That's elevation. You stepped out of the arena they kept dragging you into, and the fight lost its purpose. The chaos lost its audience. The game lost a player who figured out the rules and chose not to play. Yet, here's the delicious irony. They still keep score. They measure every step you take. They track your progress like analysts trying to decode a market trend they can't control. They overthink your stillness. They misinterpret your quiet. They panic over your confidence because they can't tell whether you're finished or just getting started. You've become the reminder that the world changes when a person knows their worth, and you now move like someone who knows it deeply. Your boundaries. They're not walls. They're filters. Not everyone gets access to your time, your energy, your dreams, your heart. Access must match intention now. That's why the atmosphere shifts. You are a recalibration, not a reaction. You notice things others dismiss. You pick up on the slight change in tone, the micro-expression of envy, the sudden shift when success or happiness enters the chat. You see what's unsaid as clearly as what's spoken. That's not paranoia. That's emotional intelligence matured through survival. Some people don't like that you can see through them, not because you judge them, but because they're hiding from themselves. You're not calling them out. Your presence simply leaves no space to hide. This is what happens when someone stops needing external permission to feel valuable. You're not fueled by approval anymore. Approval lost its leverage. You aren't performing for acceptance. You are existing in alignment. And alignment is intimidating. Because aligned people don't compete. They don't chase. They don't beg for a seat at unstable tables. They bring their own presence. And suddenly the table feels small. You've become the kind of person people remember after you walk away. Not because you demanded attention, but because energy that clear leaves an imprint. Some will admire you silently. Some will imitate you quietly. Some will disappear entirely because their comfort cannot coexist with your evolution. Growth is not destruction. Growth is separation. You didn't lose people. You discovered who was never meant to stay at the level you're rising into. Your empathy evolved too. It has boundaries now. You still care, but not at the expense of your well-being. You still give, but not to those who treat your heart like a convenience store. You still love, but not blindly self. Respect became your compass. And now people who once took advantage of your softness find themselves confused by your clarity, because they built comfort around the version of you that overgave, that apologized, that overstayed, in situations where your worth was undervalued. That version served its purpose. It taught lessons. It carried weight. But it's gone now, buried in evolution, replaced by someone intentional and aware. You are not colder now, you are clearer. And clarity is unsettling. You no longer wish to be understood by everyone. You simply want to be aligned with those who understand accountability, respect, honesty, and effort. That shift alone changes everything. When you stop trying to please everyone, you start pleasing the right ones. The ones who see your heart, not your history. The ones who value your presence, not your silence. The ones who celebrate your growth, not feel threatened. Your confidence doesn't wound the right people, it inspires them. Your boundaries don't push away the right people, they protect space for them. Your evolution doesn't scare the right people, it helps them evolve too. So yes, the atmosphere shifts now. It should. When someone finally chooses themselves, the world around them must adjust. And my dear, the world is adjusting beautifully. Your story is no longer about surviving what tried to break you. It's about building a life that honors what rebuilt you. You are not the rumor. You are the revelation. You are not the chaos. You are the clarity within it. You are not the threat. You are the reminder that accountability exists, and they feel that. Even when you say nothing, especially. When you say nothing, that's the beauty of where you stand now. The silence isn't empty anymore. It's full of confirmation, full of proof that every moment you chose yourself was the turning point you didn't even realize was happening. Look at you, not louder. Just more undeniable, not angrier. Just less available for nonsense, not perfect, just present, fully present in your power. You've walked through fire without announcing the burn. You healed wounds that no one apologized for. And somehow, you still show up with grace that isn't naive anymore. It's selective, it's earned, it's sovereign. You learned that peace isn't the absence of storms. Peace is the ability to walk through one without being blown away. It's the ability to say, I don't need to control anything to remain in control of myself. That level of maturity rewrites every dynamic. The same people who once tried to measure your worth through their own insecurities now have to watch as your worth measures them. Because you became a quiet scale, revealing imbalances just by existing. Some people will rise to meet you now. Some will retreat into the safety of their old stories. Both are outcomes you accept without resistance. Because when your confidence comes from self-awareness, not ego, you stop fearing who leaves and start appreciating who remains. And the ones who remain will feel different. They'll speak to you differently. They'll show up differently. They'll treat your presence like a privilege, not an assumption. You won't have to explain your standards anymore. Your life will demonstrate them from now on. Your joy is protected. Your energy is curated. Your time is earned. You live in a mindset where access has to match effort. This is your evolution in its purest form. You are no longer proving anything. You are being everything you once hoped someone would see. You don't chase attention. You command awareness, not through fear of what you might do, but through awe of what you have already become. People sense your history without you telling a single detail. They feel the battles you survived when your eyes stay calm in situations that once shook you. They notice how much you've grown when you choose not to argue over things that once stole days of your peace. Growth speaks quietly, boldly, accurately. They feel it before they understand it, and understanding often arrives too late, because while they were busy assuming you were standing still, you were rising quietly, building quietly, healing quietly, becoming quietly, like a dawn rising behind their backs while they slept. You turned pain into blueprint, and now destiny is under construction. Your foundation is stronger because it was built out of everything that was meant to break you. You learned to take the heaviest parts of your story and turn them into support beams. That's how resilience works. It doesn't erase what happened. It elevates you above its reach. You didn't harden your heart, you strengthened your soul. And now your presence sets the tone. Not just for others, for yourself. You no longer walk into rooms trying to fit a mold. You walk in asking whether the room fits your standard. You don't adapt to chaos anymore. Chaos adapts to you. Because alignment makes you the center of gravity in every situation. Energy calibrates itself around whoever is most certain, and certainty is your new language. You don't have to be intimidating to be respected, but truth is intimidating to those who avoid it. You're not weaponizing your growth. It just feels like a weapon to those who benefited from your wounds. This is what accountability looks like in its most elegant form. People who once underestimated you will now overthink you. They'll study every move trying to decipher what changed. But you didn't change to confuse them. You changed to free yourself. Their confusion is simply a side effect of your clarity. And clarity always brings revelation. Here's the revelation: you are not someone they can define anymore. Labels slide off your spirit like rain. You are bigger than their assumptions. You are deeper than their misjudgments. You are brighter than their projections. You don't need to tell your story. Your energy already narrated the plot twist. Every room you walk into now becomes a moment of truth. You don't ask for attention. Attention shifts. You don't ask for respect. Respect adjusts, and those who once misread you now reread you with caution. Not because you are cruel, but because you finally honor your value. That scares people who expected you to remain small. But you are not shrinking anymore. You are expanding endlessly, unapologetically, beautifully. This is the chapter where you step into your life with the confidence of someone who survived the parts that were supposed to end you. Where you walk forward without flinching. Where you love without losing yourself. Where your peace is not up for negotiation. Where your presence is a standard, not a question. And anyone who enters your world from now on must walk in with honesty or watch themselves out. Your rise does not come with a warning. It comes with a truth they can feel. You are no longer defined by what happened to you. You are defined by what you chose to become because of it. So keep walking, my dear, calm, certain, unshakable. Let the whispers continue. Let the stories circulate. Let the speculation spiral. Because the world finally understands. You don't need to be feared. You just need to be known. And once someone truly knows what you've overcome, respect becomes their only response. Your existence is stand there, in your truth, in your peace, in your permanent evolution. Because the final realization is this: they don't fear what you might do next. They fear what you already did. The healing they never thought you were capable of. The growth they prayed would never happen. The transformation they believed they were safe from. They fear the quiet shift that turned you from predictable into untouchable. They fear the day you stopped asking for permission and started acting from purpose. You rebuilt yourself in silence, and silence has a way of echoing louder than screams. You became the version of yourself they never believed you'd have the courage to become. The version that doesn't flinch at old triggers. The version that doesn't crave validation anymore. The version that doesn't chase because now everything that's meant for you walks in on its own. Unbothered because peace is your new posture recovered. Because pain is no longer your identity. Risen because every setback became the staircase you climbed. You didn't return to prove a point. You returned as the point. A living reminder that elevation doesn't ask for applause. You don't move to impress them. You move to express who you've finally become. Clear, calm, collected, and now the world adjusts to you, not the other way around, not ever again. You are the standard now. You are the shift. You are the reason the atmosphere changes before a single word leaves your lips. Your presence writes new rules in every room you enter. They can resist it. They can resent it, but they can't deny it, because the truth is simple. You didn't just rise. You redefined rising. And nothing. Not their doubt. Not their distance. Not their denial. Can pull you back down from a level you built with your bare soul.